Good morning, readers. Today, I want to teach you that strong readers can compare new texts to previous texts. So, yesterday, you read the book Ancient Egypt. And previously this week, we also read the book Egypt, and we read an article about the countries of the world about Egypt also. So, this week, we've read 3 different texts about Egypt. So I want to show you how strong readers can compare and contrast texts. Now remember, the word compare means to talk about how two things are similar or almost the same, and contrast means we're going to talk about how two things are different. So as a reader, I'm thinking about my text features in the books that I've read, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to compare and contrast Ancient Egypt and the book Egypt. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to the table of contents because I don't remember every single word that was in each book. But what I can do is look at the table of contents for each nonfiction text and remind myself what these books were about. Now, I know that I can compare these and contrast these, but this doesn't tell me everything that was in these texts. So I can go ahead and get an idea that both texts talk about pyramids and they talk about the history. So the pyramids are in the history. So I already know that one thing that is similar about these texts. Now, I see lots of other pages and sections in this book which tells me things that might be different in this book than in this book. So I already have, as a reader, I already have an idea of things that are similar and different that are in these texts. Now, what I want to do is I want to go through and I'm just going to skim, which means I'm going to look quickly through the book, but I'm not going to reread every word. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to skim quickly through this book to remind myself what I read about. And I'm going to do the same thing for the second text to remind myself what's in here. So far, we're talking about where Egypt is, its land, the Nile River, its people, the landscape, its animals, the history about pharaohs and pyramids, what's in the pyramids, and a conclusion. So that's just kind of a recap of this text. And now we want to go through and skim through this text as well. And I'm going to look at, here we have an introduction. I see a picture of the land, but I also see a bolded word about pharaohs. So I know that they're talking about pharaohs in this text, which is similar to the other text. Here they're talking about the beliefs, which I know is different because I didn't see anything about beliefs in the previous text. Here they're talking about mummies. That's different. Okay, still talking about mummies. Oh, here's something that's similar. They're talking about the pyramids. We know that they talked about pyramids in the other text as well. Here we have pyramids and maybe how people use transportation. And we have what's inside the pyramids and the tombs. Okay, how the tombs are structured on the inside. What else the Egyptians built. Okay, and a conclusion. So as a reader, I already know some things that are similar and some things that are different. Now, what I should be doing as a reader is taking notes. So I already did this just to give you an example, but I have one text here about Egypt. I have my other text here about ancient Egypt, and then I have things that are the same about both of them. Now, you can use a Venn diagram where you draw the circles and the outside parts tell you what's different and the middle tells you what's the same. Or you can take notes just like this, whatever is easiest for you as a reader. So we know that in the text Egypt, it talked about people in Egypt. It talked about Egypt's land. It talked about Egypt's animals, and it talked about the Nile River. In ancient Egypt, it talked about beliefs and mummies and the structure, and they both talked about where Egypt is. They talked about the pharaohs and the pyramids and what the pyramids were made for. So be thinking about, readers, things that are similar and different between two similar texts. You can do it.